local, late breaking. This is WDSU News at 6.
And I'm just asking everybody to step forward so we can continue to get justice. Because it can't stop right here. We deserve it. If nobody else, we deserve it. So Jeff Landry, please open up your heart, your eyes, and give us the justice that we deserve.
Right now at 6, one of the day's big stories, no federal charges for 2 Baton Rouge police officers involved in the death of Alton Sterling last summer. Now his family is calling on Louisiana Attorney General Jeff Landry to investigate the shooting that sparked days of protest.
But first, let's turn our attention to the severe weather that had southeast Louisiana in its grasp all day. The gates at the fairgrounds are set to open tomorrow for Jazz Fest goers, although you can bet it will be quite soggy out there. Good evening, everyone. I'm Sela Kim.
And I'm Scott Walker. Thanks for joining us. It was dark and cloudy earlier. Now it's lighter and cloudy still. Storms moving in and out of the area and then moving in again later. Chief Meteorologist Margaret Orr is in the Weather Center with a look at what we can expect. Margaret?
It's kind of a 1-2 punch. We had strong storms earlier today. Now cloudy skies, a little bit of rain. There is more moving our way. More of what you can expect into the weekend. I'll make you smile coming up in a moment.
Margaret, thank you. There will be no federal charges against Baton Rouge police officers Blaine Salamani and Howie Lake in the fatal shooting of Alton Sterling last summer.
The Department of Justice laid out its findings today, and Alton Sterling's family announced their fight to continue pushing for justice.
WDSU's Travers Mackel and Casey Frand are in Baton Rouge. First, Travers has a breakdown of that federal decision.
That's right, Scott. We'll have those details in a moment, but the governor and mayor say if anybody wants to protest, they should do so peacefully. And let me show you where we are right here. That is Baton Rouge Police Headquarters, completely barricaded. That decision comes after the DOJ says the 2 officers involved in the deadly shooting of Alton Sterling will not face any federal criminal charges. The video of the shooting death of Alton Sterling last summer went viral, but the Department of Justice says there's more to the story, and the officers involved, including the one who pulled the trigger, committed no federal crimes. We should point out that all of the evidence in this case has now been turned over from the feds to the state's Attorney General Jeff Landry, who will now investigate with the Louisiana State Police. Reporting live in Baton Rouge, I'm Travers Mackel, WDSU News.
All right, Travers, thank you for that. And the family of Alton Sterling is calling on Louisiana Attorney General Jeff Landry to hold the 2 officers accountable for their actions.
WDSU's Casey Frand is standing by with what comes next. Casey?
Well, Scott and Sela, the family of Alton Sterling, as well as his attorney, their attorneys say that they believe strongly that the Attorney General should have enough evidence to bring state charges against those officers. But after hearing more of the details that led up to the shooting at the convenience store here in Baton Rouge, they say they should at least be terminated immediately.
That man execute Alton like he was a dog in the street.
Andrika Williams, the mother of Alton Sterling's 3 youngest children, says she'd known of several previous encounters between Sterling and Baton Rouge police officer Blaine Salamani.
Alton told me a couple times this officer that came up there, I told them that, and they still just letting this officer walk away.
Their final run-in was July 5th of last year.
We know what happened, and now it's time for the Attorney General to do his job.
And in addition to the cell phone video that has circulated since this incident last summer, the DOJ investigators also had surveillance video from the convenience store here, as well as dash cam video from the officers' vehicles. And investigators say that the officers' body cameras actually had fallen off during the scuffle and did not record the shooting. Reporting live in Baton Rouge, I'm Casey Frand, WDSU News.
Casey, thank you. Right now on the WDSU mobile app, you will find a timeline of events that led up to today's Justice Department decision and more statements from officials in regard to the case. So go ahead and check that out on WDSU mobile app. And still ahead for us here on 6, the fight to save the Confederate era monuments in the Crescent City. What legislation may keep the statues standing?
Plus, an exclusive interview with the mother of 2 children injured in a crash while their babysitter was behind the wheel. Hear her message to parents about trust.
Live, local, late breaking. This is WDSU News at 6.
White supremacy will die in New Orleans.
Right now at 6, a heavily divided crowd on hand early this morning as the city of New Orleans removed the monument of the first and only president of the Confederate States, Jefferson Davis. Good evening. I'm Scott Walker.
And I'm Stella Kim. WDSU's Travers Mackel is live in Mid-City with more on what happens to the monument now and why some people are still demanding answers, Travers.
That's right, Sulla. Many monument supporters say this process by the mayor has been anything but transparent. Obviously, an allegation that he continues to deny. And check this out right here. This is all that's left of the Jefferson Davis Monument. It's now in storage at an undisclosed warehouse. Take 'em Down NOLA says their work to remove what they feel are symbols of racism is far from over.
Of course, we've got much more work to do.
And in a tweet earlier today, Mayor Mitch Landrieu says this move here at Jefferson Davis at this monument continues the city's march towards reconciliation. Reporting live in Mid-City, I'm Travers Mackel, WDSU News.
Travers, thank you. So still left standing tonight are the Robert E. Lee Monument at Lee Circle and the PGT Beauregard Monument, and that's in City Park. Earlier this week, a judge rejected calls to stop the removal of that monument. Right now on WDSU.com, we continue our coverage over the removal of the Confederate monuments. Just log on to WDSU.com for more information and the rest of the story.
All right, weather now, and take a live look outside on this nice looking Thursday. Chief Meteorologist Margaret Orr standing by in the Weather Center to tell us about some changes coming our way soon. Margaret?
So it was really nice today, partly to occasionally mostly cloudy, highs in the mid-80s. I hope you enjoyed it. It's not going to be this way tomorrow, when it's all going to improve and how much rain we're going to get coming up in a moment.
All right, Margaret, thank you. Former New Orleans Mayor Ray Nagin is back in the city today testifying in federal court.
Nagin is serving a 10-year prison sentence in Arkansas after being found guilty on bribery charges in 2014. He testified today in an ongoing civil lawsuit between River Birch and Waste Management. The lawsuit alleges in the years following Hurricane Katrina that River Birch used bribes to influence politicians to hurt competitors like Waste Management. Nagin's attorney says the former mayor represented himself well in court today in the beginning of what might be a long process.
He was himself. He was in good spirits. He answered the questions very well. He told the truth about the contract. And I'm sure we can probably have another deposition before that because there's so much information involving Katrina, so many documents.
Jenkins says Nagin may head back to prison in Arkansas tomorrow. For now, he's being held at the Plaquemines Parish Jail.
New Orleans City Council members say they are being pressured by the federal consent decree judge to pass a plan that would expand the jail here in New Orleans. But before a decision is made, some are speaking out. And as WDSU reporter Jennifer Crockett tells us, they say a bigger jail will lead to even bigger problems.
This is the $145 million Orleans Justice Center. It's just 2 years old, but already running out of space.
I have absolutely no interest in keeping the population up. I have all the interest in getting the population down.
The mayor has promoted the jail expansion as a public safety measure paid for by FEMA. The sheriff and the federal consent decree judge are also in favor of Phase 3. Reporting at OJC, I'm Jennifer Crockett, WDSU News.
And a vote is expected at next week's City Council meeting on whether or not the City Planning Committee will study that plan or another plan to retrofit the new jail with a mental health facility.
The NOPD is sending out a call for help to fight crime in the 7th District. The Chef Corridor is a main target. Officers say that's the area from Chef Mature Highway to Morrison Road and Chef Mature Highway and Downman into the Rosedale subdivision. Officers say they have made an arrest in the deadly April 30th shooting where a man was shot inside of a store on Chef, but they're still searching for clues after someone shot a man at the Chateau Lane apartment on Chef. Police say they need the public's help now to stop crime.
Even though I have confidence in them to perform at a high level, we always need the help of the community. Number one, to help us identify hotspot areas that are plagued with crime, where crimes are taking place, but then to help us identify people who are committing those crimes. It can't just be all on police.
And police say you can always call Crime Stoppers to report crime anonymously. Still ahead here at 6 o'clock, Louisiana has the 6th highest opioid prescription rate in the nation. Find out how lawmakers are hoping to prevent fatal overdoses by targeting injured workers. Plus, upping patrols on the Riverwalk, how the Harbor Police Department is adding an extra layer of security.
New tonight, the Louisiana legislature is hoping to make it harder for injured Louisiana workers to get a hold of highly addictive drugs.
It's all an effort to try to prevent fatal overdoses. Today's 8 to 5 vote requires that prescribers consult a set of medical lists before writing prescriptions for workers' compensation insurance. Doctors would need pre-authorization to prescribe certain drugs, including many opioids. The full House will consider that measure next.
The 2017 Satchmo Summerfest is moving back to the New Orleans Jazz Museum at the Mint. The festival runs August 4th through the 6th. Last year it was held in Jackson Square, but after hearing from attendees, organizers decided to return to the Mint to celebrate the 17th anniversary. Admission will be $5. And remember, the festival also has a competition going on to find the official artwork for the festival, so you can head to WDSU.com to find out how you can apply.
A critically endangered sea turtle was released back into the wild thanks to the help of the Audubon Nature Institute and the Louisiana Department of Wildlife and Fisheries. Ray was accidentally captured by a commercial shrimper who notified Wildlife and Fisheries. She was emaciated and dehydrated at the time. After a year of work and rehab, Ray was cast back out into the waters of Lake Calcasieu near Lake Charles yesterday.
Well, an emergency meeting tonight in St. Tammany. What errors were found during last month's election that may have some costly consequences?
Here's a look at the prime time lineup right here on WDSU tonight. At 7 o'clock, Law & Order SVU, Chicago Med after that. And then it's the Blacklist at 9. We're back for the news at 10, followed by The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon.